If you're wondering why I can't wake up, or why it's taking so long for me to wake up, or I'm not sure if this is something that can happen to me, just being aware of those thoughts is a good pointer. Because awakening doesn't happen to you. Awakening means reality waking up to itself, or the universe waking up to itself. So it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with a separate entity that's going through experiences. It's waking up from the paradigm that I'm a small, discrete entity that suffers, that seeks, that's always trying to make itself better, trying to make itself feel better, avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. To wake up from that is what the term awakening refers to. So, since it doesn't happen to you, it doesn't happen to an identity, it doesn't happen to a discrete entity, then what is the point of practice? What is the point of inquiry? What is the point of listening to a video like this or reading books about awakening? Well, the point is that just like awakening wakes up to itself and the universe wakes up to itself, practice also practices itself. There's no one doing it. You don't actually have to know who it is that's doing practice for practice to occur. There's no one who can have that information. There's no one who can actually know who the practitioner is. That's what's not there. What's not there is the glue that seemingly holds the construct of self apart together in a way that it seems like it's moving through time, collecting experiences, getting better or getting worse, or waking up more. The glue that seems to hold all that together is what is referred to as the false self, or the seeming separate self. And that's the identity structure that we see through, or that is seen through, as awakening unfolds, as realization unfolds. So the good news is you don't have to know who you are to wake up. You don't have to understand what awakening is to wake up. You don't have to be able to imagine what it's going to be like after you wake up to wake up. For awakening to occur, you're not required to figure anything out. So you could say practice is properly questioning. It's not causing something to happen. It's not creating a result. It's not forcing reality to do what you want it to do. It's not giving you information. It's questioning in the right way. Who is it that wants to wake up? Who is it that's aware of all these thoughts about awakening? Who is it that's aware of the thoughts that say, I'm not awake yet? What is it that's aware of those thoughts? So just a willingness to keep looking there, even when you don't have a mind label for what there means. When there's no signpost that says you've arrived here. Because that signpost would be a thought. It doesn't mean that you're not oriented properly. You don't need validation from thought to know that you're oriented properly, as long as you're questioning. As long as you're oriented toward the mystery of who am I? Because if you ask the question, who am I? And you see that any thought answer, any conceptual answer, any word answer is simply another thought. So it can't define you as the one aware of thoughts, because thoughts are changing, coming, going. But something that's aware of them doesn't change, doesn't move. So as long as you're oriented toward that, questioning, or just abiding in that unknowing, then practice is practicing itself properly. You don't have to know who you are. You don't have to know which teacher is right and which teacher is wrong. You don't have to have the perfect technique, posture. You don't have to cultivate a deep state of samadhi. You just have to be willing to face the mystery of unknowing, the mystery of the non-conceptual. If you're trying to understand awakening, or you're trying to understand self, then notice the only answer to that will be thought. So instead, feel into what's trying to understand that. What is it that's right here, undeniably, that can't be spoken about? It can't be gained or lost. It can't be found, because what's apart from it that's going to find it? Only thoughts suggest apartness, or one is right, the other's wrong, or one exists, the other doesn't. This awareness, this consciousness, can't know one from the other without a thought. If that's not clear, you can try. How can I experience difference without a thought? How can I experience one and the other without thinking about it? How can I experience myself and something that's not me without thinking about it? These are all good questions, good koans, as long as they lead you into the unknowing. Because the unknowing is the clearest and simplest path to undeniable knowing of unbound consciousness, of unbound knowing, pure knowing. So you have to be willing to go into the gap, unbinding your knowing from thoughts, unbinding your knowing from concepts, images, internal narrative. And then you'll really know. But it won't be you. It will be knowing that knows. Everything will be everything. Nothing will be nothing. Everything is just as it is and requires no descriptions. Even location will stop making sense. Because where is location without a thought? What is time without a thought? This is the purity of presence in consciousness. There is no boundary, no dividing line, no before and after, no awake and asleep, no one who doesn't deserve awakening, no one who does deserve awakening, no event called awakening. There's only pure knowing of only itself. It has no content, but is self-validating, obvious. Everywhere you look, it's this. And that which is looking is this. One and the same. It's not a watcher and something to watch. Just pure knowingness. So why can't you wake up? Because there was never anything apart. The I that couldn't wake up was a thought. But you never moved from that which was aware of the thought. And that which is clearly aware without a thought. A thought can't wake up. But you can. Reality can. Awakeness can wake up. And when it does, it's seen that it was never asleep. There was only, always, just this.